Hey guys, I hope that you guys are doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Shikha and I welcome you to my channel. I hope that you guys have been enjoying my videos and more importantly that you guys have been learning from them, because that's like my ardent desire in the world. I just want to teach people and I just want to share my ideas with the world. In this video I wanted to speak to you guys about how INFJs absolutely love. Love is not an enough word for it. We absolutely are in ecstasy when we are in our cozy solitude. And this was kind of proved to me recently when I was having a conversation with one of my online INFJ friends. And I was sitting in my bed in the cozy warmth. It's cold outside. I could hear the wind, howling through the trees and knocking on the windows. It was very typical horror movie scene, and I was sitting in my bed underneath the covers, really, really warm and cozy. I had my warm scarf on, I had my hat on, I had my sweater on, I had my socks on. It was beautiful. It was just perfect, right? And I wasn't really doing anything. I was actually not doing anything. I was sitting there staring off into space. I was literally sitting there and staring into my room and just being grateful for everything that I have. And I was kind of counting through the things that I have that I'm so grateful for. For example, I was saying to myself, I'm so grateful that I'm here in this warm, beautiful, cozy bed where it's so cold outside. I'm so lucky for that, right? And then I said to myself, I'm so lucky that I have socks and warm clothes when a lot of people in the world don't have clothes. I'm so lucky that I have a full belly. I had food in my belly. I'm not hungry. I'm so lucky about that. I'm lucky that I have this phone that I can communicate with people with, so I don't actually have to go outside anymore. It's like the best invention ever. INFJs, cell phones. You never actually have to go anywhere. You can just talk to people online or the internet. And so I was just sitting there in gratitude, and I was talking to my friend about it, and I said to her, there's really no reason for me to be so ecstatically happy. Really, there isn't. I'm not doing particularly well in the world if you think about it in general. Typical traditional terms, I'm not very successful. I don't make millions of dollars. I don't have fame and fortune. I don't have anything like that, right? Like if you think about it, I was actually wearing really ratty clothes, probably the same clothes I'm wearing right now. And I was it was nothing special. Like I didn't have diamonds or glory or fame or anything like that, right? I was just sitting in bed, an ordinary person, just in bed, cozy and happy. And I was just messaging her saying, why am I so happy? And I think it's obviously a lot to do with the fact that, I'm a generally happy person, but a lot of it has to do with the fact that I was in solitude and in cozy solitude, not just solitude, because there are many different kinds of solitudes, as you guys probably know. There is a solitude where you are surrounded by people and you are by yourself and you're alone, and that's solitude too. You could be surrounded by hundreds of thousands of people. A lot of those people could probably know you or not know you, but you're still in solitude. You're still alone. There's a kind of solitude where you're by yourself in a room, which is the best kind of solitude. You're in your room, you have everything that you need. You have internet, you have your laptop, you have snacks, you have food. You have a cell phone if you need to contact anyone. You have a book that you could read if you wanted to. And you have the space to stare off into the unknown and dream and daydream without anyone looking at you and thinking, are you insane? Are you crazy? Do you need something? Do you want me to switch on the TV? Do you want me to switch on the radio? It's so quiet in here. No need for that, right? So that's the kind of solitude as well. So there's so many different kinds of solitudes. And I was thinking about this. I think there's a lot of different kinds of silences as well. Like there's a good kind of silence and the bad kind of silence, right? And so I think when I was sitting in my room, surrounded by silence, surrounded by solitude, I was in the best kind of silence. It was the kind of silence where I felt at peace. I felt contentment. I felt joy. Just this bubbling up of joy from an inside out where I couldn't imagine being anywhere else. I couldn't imagine being happier anywhere else. I couldn't imagine being happier than this, where I was at that point in time. And I just felt so much gratitude because I'm so lucky that I can feel this joy, even though I don't have a lot of reasons, if you want to think about it, to feel that joy, right? I do have a lot of reasons in my heart, but if someone looks at me from the outside in, they look at me, they think, why are you happy? You don't have any reason to be happy right now, right? And my sisters noticed this about me as well. I can be the happiest person in the world, just sitting there, staring off into space, doing nothing, just daydreaming or having fun with my thoughts, or I kind of thinking about the next video that I want to do, or thinking about the next creative projects that I want to take on, or just being there with myself and thinking, wow, I'm so lucky. I'm able to sit here in solitude and silence, and I have the time to do this, and I can be here without anyone disturbing me. And I felt so grateful for that. And I think that's an INFJ thing for sure, because I know a lot of you guys have messaged me saying this as well, that it's so important just to have that little space and time to sit and stare off into space, or just be by yourself with your thoughts and your feelings and your emotions, to analyze what's going on inside of you, to analyze what's going on here. There's a lot of stuff going on there all the time. And just to be here in this present moment, and just to be in solitude, to understand ourselves better, to know ourselves better, to analyze ourselves better, right? And so it's so important to take that time. And because I'm living with my family right now, my parents, and because I'm traveling a lot, because I'm trying to take them to places that they haven't gone before, and for some reason they don't like traveling on their own. I don't mind traveling on my own, but they have a harder time with it. I'm going with them, and I'm finding that I'm surrounded by people all the time, right? Very hard to get that solitude. Not only because people don't understand it, which is such an interesting thing if you think about it. People don't understand that you need to be in solitude. They think that you're depressed, or they think you're sad, or they think that you are in some kind of agony, or you're trying to get attention or something. I don't know what it is, but for some reason, whenever I tried to be in solitude, it was always that they try to pull me back into the family, because they think that I'm bored on my own, or I'm not happy on my own, which is really, really funny and interesting if you think about it, right? Not only that, but also because, I was traveling with my family, and I was like, okay, I'm going to be home soon where I can be by myself, so let's spend this time with them right now. Let's try and spend this time with them right now, right? And so that also caused me to be surrounded by people all the time, which meant that I did not get that daily dose of solitude that is so, so crucial for my mental health. And I could notice my mental health slipping. I could notice my mental acuity and my mental contentment just dripping out into the ground and just falling away from me. And I could feel myself getting angrier faster than normal. I could feel myself getting irritated faster than normal. I could feel myself going crazy in my head faster than normal. Normally, if I get my daily dose of solitude, it doesn't take me that long. I'll get angry, but I'll go back very quickly, or I won't get angry at all. I'll be able to control myself. I'll be able to say, okay, what are you doing? Why are you getting angry over something so stupid? I'll be able to put a damper on my emotions and feelings going all over the place. I could be like, okay, just calm down, everything's fine, you get to go home soon, you get to be by yourself. And just that thought, just having that thought in my head that, yes, I get to go home soon, I have nothing to worry about, I don't need to do anything, I can be home soon and just relax in my solitude, just that thought itself would calm me down if I got irritated or if I got angry, right? But when I didn't have that solitude to go back to, when I did not have that space to go back to, instantaneously I'd feel angry, because I'd be like, well, why don't I have that space? Why can't I have that space? Why is the universe against me? And then I go into that spiral of depression or black hole where I think everyone's against me because they don't want to give me my space. Everyone doesn't like me. The universe doesn't love me anymore. Blah, 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 right? You know how that goes. I'm sure you do, because you've gone through that as well. And so it's so important. If you are dating an INFJ, this is actually one of the most crucial things you can do for an INFJ to show them that you love them, is to give them their space. It's so counterintuitive, obviously, because if you want to show someone that you love them, you should hang out with them all the time and be spending time with them. And that's important as well, quality time. But to show true love to an INFJ, you have to just leave them alone and let them do their own thing, and let them come to you when they're ready, when they're done with their solitude, when they're done with their stuff, when they're done with their projects, and then they feel, okay, good, yeah, I think I can go back into the public eye. I can go back into humanity. I can go back into my family or my friends or my couple or my partners and all that stuff, because I'm ready now. And that's when they'll come back to you. And then they'll have to leave again and go back into their cave, into their solitude, do their work, do all the stuff that they need to do in order to feel mentally stable and mentally balanced. And then again, the process continues over and over again. So if you love them, let them go, right? And they will come back to you. I get questions like this all the time. My INFJ is not talking to me. She said that she loves me or she likes hanging out with me, but all of a sudden she's disappeared. She's not disappeared. She's just gone into her solitude mode. She's learning or doing or working on her projects, just taking time for herself. And she will come back. And this is one of the things I say most often to non-INFJs. Don't worry about it. Don't push them. Let them be, and they will come back to you. Especially if they've said that they like spending time with you. Unless something drastic has happened. But if it hasn't, they will come back to you. It's just that they need their time to do their stuff, which all of us do. As you guys know, all INFJs need it. Some INFJs need more of this alone solitude time than others. I am more of an extrovert, as you guys can tell, so I need less of that time. Some other INFJs are more introverted on that spectrum, and so they need more introverted time. They'll need maybe a week or two to rejuvenate, whereas I can do well with a day or two, even sometimes less than that, because I know that I live in an environment where I constantly have to be surrounded by people. So I've kind of modified myself a little bit. But eventually I will, if I had preference, if I had the choice, I would live in an apartment by myself and never interact with people unless I really absolutely had to, right? I do nowadays because that's the way I've built my life. But if I had the choice, I would set it up that way. And that's what I do when I go to Thailand. I live in an apartment, tiny apartment by myself. I talk to people very rarely. I go outside and go for walks all the time, but I have very few friends and very few people I actually hang out with. It happens very rarely that I go and hang out with people. Okay? So I wanted to share this with you guys because I thought it was interesting how I felt so ecstatically happy just being by myself. And I wondered if that was the case for you guys as well. I'm sure it is. I can imagine it's the same thing for you. So I wanted to share this with you guys. If you guys have any questions at all, please let me know. All my contact information is in the description below. And if you guys have any personal questions, private questions that you don't want to ask in a public format, I would recommend that you email me. My email address is below as well. I shall hear from you guys soon, hopefully. And if I don't, have a great day. I shall see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.